Okay, so for those of you who've been wondering what my thesis project is, it's essentially a multi-touch and multimodal input sensor to be utilized behind LCD panels. Specifically large LCD panels, anything over 10 inches, because capacitive overlays for anything that's larger than 10 inches just become too expensive to implement. So what I have here is I've got a bunch of IR LEDs shining in an infrared plane over the surface of the LCD monitor here, and behind the LCD monitor I've got my custom sensor board integrated, and when I touch the surface of my monitor here, that LED plane breaks and the light is reflected back into my sensor board. From that, what I'm able to do is I'm able to create a video feed which you can view here, which is basically maps out where the inputs are. From using basic blob analysis and image processing, I'm able to create applications such as this depth map, which showcase where my inputs are occurring, what their intensity is, and since it's a multi-touch, I can have more than one input. So this sensor is actually attached behind a regular off-the-shelf LCD monitor that I've hacked open, and I've attached these LEDs in front and cut a hole in the back, and I've attached my little sensor board back here. To get this to work, what I've had to do is I've actually had to remove the original backlight and replace it with LEDs, because the original backlight emits infrared as well, infrared light. As such, I'm able to get inputs from my sensor board here. Another cool thing about my project is that since it's actually an image sensor, what I can do is I can place objects on the surface and it can see those objects. Here I've got a double-sided tape, and if you look up here on the top right, I can actually see the tape itself. So what you can do with this is that you can actually not only see finger touches, but you can actually see objects. Now, an interesting thing is that the way I've implemented this is that it's modular. So a lot of these panels can be connected together for a larger screen. For this prototype, I only created a 7-inch panel, but a 7-inch sensor board. But if I wanted to implement this entire setup here, what I'd do is I'd link 4 of these boards together to create a full map of the entire screen. So what I've calculated is that you can go up to 40 inches and get the same kind of user interface. You can develop the same kind of user interface developments, such as the iPhone, but on much larger scale. So you don't really require any more camera sensing isn't really required, since you've got this high fidelity and high response image sensors that can be implemented quite cheaply. For this 17-inch monitor, a professional company could come and implement it for maybe $150 more. So it's quite cost efficient when we look at it in terms of implementing capacitive overlay on a 17-inch monitor. So that's about it. Oh, a basic overview of this application is that it just looks at where the inputs are, and it creates a depth map to map where each input is. So whatever the sensor is and whatever its intensity is, that's where this thing maps out.